Hey, it's Gabe Keenan, product managers in the plan stage. We're going to do a demo today of Jira, and this is part of our Q1 21 OKRs within the product organization. Where the goal of this is to walk through Jira, but also kind of talk about building a better importing experience. So it's easy for customers to migrate from Jira or migrate to GitLab from Jira. So we have a demo Jira account set up, and this is the basic default view when you log in. You have some project view. You can kind of like look at some most recent items that you've looked at. You can also search if you want to do an advanced search, I guess, across all of your projects. And then you can create something, create an issue. You can kind of specify what that is and what project it should go into.
Hey, Gabe, can you go back? I missed where you clicked to start that.
This little plus sign right here.
Oh, on the left. Cool.
I think I can also hit the C based on that. So yeah, I can use some hotkeys, which is nice. Down here, we have our notifications. We can see the ones that are direct notifications versus watching. Oddly, this is an issue that came up as folks coming over to GitLab were not sure how to watch issues. So I pointed them to the notifications toggle in our sidebar on our issues, which they failed to see the first time. We can also switch, I guess, to other products here. So the admin view, we can, if Confluence is hooked up or Service Desk, those sorts of things, I guess it's a fast toggle there. Help section, we won't go into. Settings, user management, system settings, products, projects, issues. I guess these are configurable type things. We'll kind of walk through those right quick. And this looks like this would be equivalent to GitLab's group view configuration. So it looks like they have some schemas for issue types. And I can kind of customize my issue type if I want to do that. Make either standard issue type or subtask issue type. So the way Jira works is they have epics, but then they have issues, and then you can have subtasks or sub issues. But they all end up in the same place. So we'll go back, we'll walk through the way creating a new project. And you have the option to pick between a classic project or their next gen. I think we should do both maybe for this demo, or at least we'll start with the next gen. And it looks like the difference is this has time tracking in it. So that one doesn't. Streamline configuration.
Well, they have time tracking. It's a second from on the left to the bottom. Looks like they split estimation out.
Yeah, interesting.
Maybe it means the same thing now.
Yeah. So it looks like the main difference is your classic will give you configuration shared across multiple projects. Your streamlined or your next gen is per project configuration. Simplified workflows instead of being highly configurable. Streamlined configuration versus flexible and advanced. 20 different kinds of ports in classic, 4 reports for agile teams. Hundreds of marketplace apps, dozens in the next gen, and other things like multiple boards and cross-project boards, which would be like our groups or a single board per project. Roadmap is here as well. So it looks like they might not have the roadmap on the classic at this point. Do you have a preference on which one you want to start with? I mean, we can go with the next gen since it's next gen.
Yeah, I'm interested in the next gen, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. Create a next gen project plan. Say, just call it demo. Access, we'll make it anyone with access to GitLab Jira can create and edit issues. So I guess you can't make it public. You can make it open, which is the people within the organization. And we'll go ahead and let's see, do we want to do Scrum, sprint toward your project goals, or should we do looks like the other template is Kanban preference? What is this for? Software? Yeah.
Let's do Scrum.
All right, select. We're going to do a Scrum project called demo. Create that. So it looks like the first thing we haven't done is we have not started a sprint. So this looks like a basic board. You can start, I guess, which would add it to your favorites over here, I'm assuming. There are rules that you can configure, which we don't have yet. We'll do that in a little bit. And let's just follow their instructions. Since Keeney, you're here, I'm going to go ahead and add you.
Woo!
I think you created your, here you go. Add. Cool. New people added. So I have to refresh page to see that, or maybe it just doesn't show up. Maybe you have to accept first. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go to the backlog.
I'd probably have to accept it.
It's an interesting little arrow up here. I guess this will pop open your project level navigation. So you can see there's a roadmap, there's a backlog, there's a board, pages, adding an item, and then project settings. I guess we can just go through the first thing. Demo sprint 1, we have no issues. So drag issues from the backlog section or create new issues to plan the work for the sprint. Start sprint when you're ready. We'll go ahead and populate the backlog. This is a feature. So this is a bug. This is tech debt. This is another feature. So it's really easy and quick to create features, which is nice, or create issues or tickets, whatever they call them. Or they call them issues as well. So actions, we can add a flag. I don't really know what a flag does. I guess it makes it.
I think it's just an alert icon.
Flaggy. We can move it to demo sprint 1, top of backlog, bottom of backlog. One of the things that I noted right here is when you have lots of issues, we have the same problem in GitLab, and I've heard complaints about Jira, is that it's hard to drag things from way down in your backlog and prioritize them in some sort of ordered way. So like, assuming this list is super long, it's hard to say like, I want to prioritize. It's almost like grooming your backlog. Oh, wow, how did I get here? Grooming your backlog for the next sprint. And so instead of like assigning it to a sprint or something like that, you have to drag it all the way up to the top, which is painful.
You can shift click multiple ones and drag them up, which is nice.
Yeah. So they have that, it looks like they have that kind of wonky type thing too, where you can click a certain part of the project to open the sidebar. And then if you click on the issue title itself, it will take you, maybe it won't take you to that. Anyway. So this is sprint 1. We can create an issue directly here. We can also create a new sprint if we want to do that. So this is sprint 2. So let's just drag this one up here into sprint 1, this one into sprint 2, this one in sprint 1 as well. And then I guess, is there anything else you want to add here before we start?
I think it's fine for now.
What does this do? Oh, so I guess this is a quick way to select more like issues and pull them into your other sprint. So it looks like it will quick grab wherever you have your line break and pull it into the sprint. Which is kind of nice. We'll go ahead and start the sprint. And let's have it go 2 weeks. We'll start on the 3rd. Ship. That's our goal. Now that we're in, we are kicked into back to our board with to do in progress done. It looks like you can customize stages here. So if we want to have a stage for review, maybe we could have that before done. Maybe we want to have one for design. Shift that over here. And it looks like this is like a nice little navigator down here. So you can, if your board has lots of horizontal lists, you can quickly like see what's in scope without having to scroll. It's interesting. See what else is here. Edit sprint rules, or edit sprint. You want to see what the rules do? Let's manage rules. Add one. See, add a rule, assign an issue to someone. After moving an issue into a certain status or column, assign it to someone. Update an issue field, automatically change the value of an issue field after moving it into a certain status or column. Let's do this one. So for issues moving to in progress, let's update, I don't know, start date with this date, the date of when the issue moves. Okay, so that will, looks like automatically calculate start date. Any other rules that we want to add? choosing moving to.
Yeah, you could have it assign it to me when it hits the review column. And you could always do that for
Sure.
if you want a specific person to sign off on it.
Select moving to. There's no moving from, which I think is interesting. The current user, the issues reporter.
Why am I not in there?
I don't know. You're selectable.
Hidden user.
Keep. All right, add. Cool. Let's close that out, and let's put this into design. So basic workflows here, which pretty simple. Want to open up this issue and look at it. This is a nice thing about this is you can look at your issue within the issue board without navigating away or losing your context, something that we're working on. It looks like you can add a pretty straightforward description with the WYSIWYG editor, files and images. You can mention people, add an emoji, tables, pretty close to, what is an info panel? Ooh, that's interesting. Note.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, what is this? Note?
That's kind of cool.
I guess highlight it.
It's formatting for the description, yeah, just like auto formatting.
And I think Markdown works as well. List, yep. List item. So they have it's a basic Markdown editor as well. I guess you can add apps here, which we don't have anything else configured, but it looks like it will be able, you can add in Confluence or whatever the marketplace apps are to extend the functionality of this issue card. Watchers, other actions, you can add a parent here, it looks like. Move it, clone it, delete it, print, export the XML, Word. Open issues in new Jira issue view. What does this do?
Interesting note, I moved demo forward to design and it looks like it updated on your screen pretty seamlessly. Or I'm gonna move another one. Let's see how quick it updates. Okay.
It's not too bad. I think under the hood, if we spin the network real quick. Why don't you try moving that again? Let's see what happens. Moving something.
Sure. Done.
Cool. Yeah. So they have a basic pub sub implementation. It looks like they are subscribed here, so we can get stuff in real time. Pretty straightforward. It's kind of nice. I don't know the underlying technical implementation, but assuming with basic publish subscribe.
Yeah, it's nice.
Lots of errors, which is interesting. It's not reassuring necessarily, but that's cool. And it looks like back to the issues, you can configure the issue to open in a sidebar, like on our issue boards, or you can have it open in a dialogue. So that's your choice, which is interesting. We can go ahead and add a story point estimate. We'll put a 5 on this. I'll assign this to me. And you can also move through the workflow stages on an issue. So this is one of the things that's really tricky about GitLab that we're going to have to figure out. It's easy to do in this context, scoping it to a project, because the issue belongs to the project and you have a single issue board, so you can't have multiple contexts that an issue lives in, like it literally only lives in this one. The challenge within GitLab is that you can have an issue that lives in a project also on a group level issue board. And so to actually have this like state machine on the issue itself, you would have to enforce the statefulness, or I guess the flow of issues at that top level group, and then have that cascade all the way down, which makes it not very flexible when you have lots of teams sharing one group. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Descriptions, unsaved changes, we can save that. And then it looks like just normal comments. You can also toggle to see the history here. So, hey, Keenan, what's up? Save. Cool. Edit, delete, add an emoji here as well. Can't add an emoji to the a word emoji though, which is the difference between us and them. So it's hard to see, like, you know, thumbs up, that sort of thing. So also there's I added some labels before, and there's kind of pretty straightforward labels here as well. They're kind of extensible. You can create a new one on the fly if it doesn't exist. Go ahead and create a new label. Can't have spaces or be more than 255 characters. Okay.
Yeah. Also in the comment thread, you can't like have threads. It's just like one single feed.
I miss threads. Sad face. All right. So this is it looks like you also have this option up here to add it to an epic. Let's see what that does. No epic has been created in this project. Create your first epic. I think we'll go look at the roadmap here in a second. Before we get there, it's also worth kind of noting some other things in the project settings. I think one of the powerful things, I don't know what this category does, or managing them does. I guess this is like the admin view, because I'm technically an admin on our Jira account. So I guess table below shows product categories and usable to categorize projects.
Why are there two projects labels on your left-hand nav there?
This is like the header, and then this is what's clickable.
Okay. Oh.
So you can see projects and then project categories. Yeah. But I guess categories is a high-level construct for like categorizing all of your different projects into like buckets, like, you know, a group, for example, I would assume.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay.
In the project settings, we also can go into change the access. It looks like we want to do that stuff. This is interesting thing is their issue types and the way they handle that. So they have custom fields in their next gen, but they are configurable on issue type level. So first you can specify, say we'll call an issue type a Keenan, a Keenan. So that. Description, we can pick the icon of this type if we want. You can be a heartbeat.
Yeah, I like it.
And then save that. If we create this new Keenan issue type, we can tell people how to use it. It looks like we can delete it, and then we can customize the fields that show up on it. So context, assignee, labels, story point estimate, sprint, hide fields below. Jira created this field. You can't edit its name. So they have like fields that are system level fields, and then we also could add things like I don't know, let's say a date here, put it here. And we'll call this a event date. Save that for something. And we can reorganize these, which I guess would change how they show up on the issue itself. We can add checkboxes. So we call this a reviewed, and option, yes. We could also add people. If we want to say, like, specify maybe who the reviewer is. That's been something that folks within GitLab have asked to be able to like break down ownership of an issue based on roles. Default people, let's just say restrict to a single person. So you have multiple people assigned or a single one. We'll save that. And then I think there's drop downs, priority, all sorts of different fields you can configure for this issue type. It does not look like they so your fields then are available to your other issue types if you want to like pop them in. So it's easy to share issue or custom fields across your issue types and kind of customize what your issues look like. I think this is kind of a nifty little thing, and it provides so much flexibility out of the gate that like it's crazy cool.
Yeah, grab that priority item. I want to see what that looks like.
Sure.
Like, you know, if we throw that in here. Oh, do you get what are the options for it?
Select a value, high, medium. You can't customize the values. So
so it's not relative priority. It's kind of just a priority label. Okay. I was curious if you could, you know, bugs just get boiled up to the top, but I mean, I guess it works that way too. Okay.
It looks like you could also, they treat epics as an issue type. And you can customize the fields on that as well. So that's all pretty well and good. So if we go back now to our, let's close this. How do I get back to this though? But I don't know what's going on.
This is back to project there, top left. Yep.
Yeah, good call. So if we hop this on, we can go look at this bug now, and it should have this priority label.
Well, no, you actually need to turn it into a bug because we created it as a standard issue. Top right, maybe the dot. Oh, yeah, top right, the 3 dots by the X. Can you change the issue type?
No.
What about next to linked issue? Link issue. Oh, that's add apps.
Here's another thing to highlight is all the relationships is blocked by blocks, is cloned by clones, duplicated by duplicates, relates to.
Yep.
So lots of different things there. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a reason why you want to know something is cloned by something else, but I don't know. Duplicates make sense, relates to, all like pretty straightforward. We could also from here add a child issue. So child issue, the bug's root cause, and we're going to track that separately. Create that, and it looks like you have a list of your child issues, but based on the numbering, this just creates a subtask, but it should, I think, a first level thing. So if we look at our backlog, because it doesn't show up in your main backlog area, but the numbering would suggest it's an odd way that they number it because it's like demo-6, like it's a unique ID for the top level thing. But anyways.
Well, so yeah, you didn't create an epic though, right? Or,
no.
Yeah, no, okay. Because I was curious what that would do too. So
where do you specify the issue type on something?
I don't know. Oh, okay. So I found it. Click on the green like bookmark icon there. Or up in the top right. Because if you're actually looking at the issue itself, it'll allow you to change it.
All right. Can I see this in the configure?
That's probably just an admin option that takes you right to that configuration. So yeah, so if you click the green icon on the top of the tile,
that's not intuitive at all.
But now that I know it's there, I like it.
Yes. All right, so priority. Now we see our priority field. We can pick that. We can log time spent, time remaining. This is a nice thing. They have like a graphical interface for this, instead of like quick action. And you can describe your work. 2 hours. Worked on this. And save that. So we logged some time there. We have our labels.
Wait, go back to that. Go to time tracking, and then in the remaining, put like a day. See? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then what happens if we do log some more time spent? We'll say 1.5 hours. Some more stuff. All right, so I guess there's some setting somewhere which will tell you what your default day is, because it took it down to 6 hours and 30 minutes remaining. So that has to be configurable somewhere, I would assume.
So if we're looking at that's assuming a 10-hour day, right?
8-hour day.
How am I doing that math wrong?
8 minus 1.5, because I had when I'm gonna put a picture. No, I won't put a picture of my daughter on this publicly thing. Trying to find some screenshot to upload so we can see. We'll do the tree swing. Yeah, use this in a blog post. It looks like you have a little attachments manager here, where you can hide it. If you hide it, I don't really know, but yeah, I think if I hit M, it's a quick action to jump down and start a comment. So quick actions are nice. Any other thing that you want to hit on the issues before we hop over and look at roadmaps, maybe?
Yeah, no, I think, I'd like to, on the way to roadmap, create an issue and assign some stuff to, or a epic and assign some stuff to it just to, wait, real quick. Over on the far right, what's group by? None. Oh, okay. Hey, there you go.
So swim lanes, I guess, for your sub issues or by assignee.
So if you do it that way, you can actually you can use one board, but individuals can view their own tasks on it that way. So it's like kind of replacing the need for a fully individual board kind of.
Yeah. So that's the goal for our swim lanes. Only we will also have by like Epic. I would want to see swim lanes by Epic as well.
Well, I mean, let's add it. So if we add an Epic, does it?
See what happens.
Yeah, because on that you had a type drop down there for the board.
I think the only place you can add epics, it looks like, is in this roadmap view. So status and progress. Today, export months. This is toggle between weeks, months, and quarters. Views, dependencies, visualize work, streams to better understand your risk, progress. And we'll look at today. So let's go through this a little bit. What needs to be done? Epic. Epic for this PI product increment. We can add another epic. Third epic for this PI. Cool. So we have that there. Flexible, looks like flexible.
That's dependency link. Yep.
Okay. So cool. We can do that in a second. Looks like we can toggle the dates of these if we want. Let's look at this in weeks, just because well, it's kind of hard to do. And you can pop this open and look at your details of this epic, it looks like, which is pretty much the same as an issue, I'm assuming. Since we can't toggle easily on that, we can say this is for this quarter. And then let's make this a dependency of this. To do anything? The second one. Am I missing something?
I don't know. What if you just click on that link icon? Does it do anything? Like instead of like hover over and click it?
Nope.
Drag the third epic over, like past the second one. Yeah, there you go. Now to see if you can link between the two.
I guess, yeah, that's interesting. Oh, now that worked. Weird. So that's kind of, has the potential to like be really wonky. Can I link? No. I was wondering if I could like cross-link things. Oh yeah, it looks like you can. That's weird. Also weird. So I can see third epic for this PI.
Like yeah. I like that little contextual pop-up.
I do too. The thing that I found weird about it is that dates overlap. This one, I guess you could have that way out here in the future. What happens if I put this one in? Okay, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I mean,
but I get it. Anyway, moving on, we can do it by status. So it looks like we have statuses here, which I'm sure, I don't know where you edit your statuses for your roadmap, maybe somewhere.
It's probably just inheriting from the project status settings.
Oh yeah, could be. To do, what's weird is this must be a bug because I can see right here in progress, review, done, but this one doesn't have those other states or columns that I had. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can move it into review, which once I did that, it looked like it automatically added you to the board, or maybe you just joined the project. I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. Another epic for this PI is blocked by a third epic for this
Yep.
PI.
And there's the dates overlap warning there.
Yep. Cool. And I can break that dependency right here if I want.
Yep.
There is, we talked about this too, there's no horizontal scrolling here. So I don't think you can't scroll. Oh yeah, I can, never mind. So there is horizontal scrolling here. And I can go anywhere I want. If we think we can go here and add some child issues.
Oh yeah, add a Keenan.
Yeah. To work on for this epic. So I can add that in here.
Cool.
Let's see.
Yeah.
The thing, what if I put this in a sprint 2? That was an interesting thing. I just noticed. It looks like when I went in here to specify what sprint this could be in, it has sprints that are active across all projects. So this is another sprint in another project I created. So what happens if I assign it to that? Is it still in my backlog?
Okay, and they're showing your epic there on the right side of that list, issue list.
Yep. That's nice. There's just the one weird thing I was trying to understand is because I added this to a sprint in another project.
Yep.
But it's showing in the backlog here. So I guess maybe if there's like subtasks that the other project has to take care of, maybe like, does it show up on that project's board? If I go look here and I go to my backlog, it doesn't show up here. I don't think that that seems like it's a bug. I don't know about you, but cool. So now that we have
wait, real quick, go back to the roadmap for me. Yeah. So under that, so if you open up that top epic, and so there's like that little to-do item. So is that interactable at all, or is that just
no?
That's just a list. It's not actually showing. So it doesn't show where it is in the timeline of it. It's kind of just, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't show anything in the timeline. I don't think.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just curious.
I expect it to, though. I guess this is what they mean by progress information, because this is like what happens if we close this and say it's done.
Yep.
So cool, we got that there. I guess the blue indicator would be something that's has been started. It's interesting. Got another one for all right, so that's what the green is completed.
Yep.
Blue is in progress, and gray is waiting to be started. So that's their kind of states that they're showing there. Today.
Yep.
Do you think that people would ever want to turn these things off?
I think if you get a large enough, like if you're reporting on like a portfolio level roadmap, you probably would want a view that isn't as cluttered's not the right, isn't as busy. Just to like, if you're, if we're talking about like, here's a plan for the future and you don't have any progress information because nothing's started yet, that could be helpful. And then, yeah, if you have a ton of dependencies and you just want to convey the timeline, you could remove that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I guess I can filter these down by types as well. So I can just see epics that have a given type in them.
Yeah.
Now looking at this, I like this last updated.
Mm-hmm.
And you can refresh, I guess, without reloading the page too, if you have to get it updated. Looking at our backlog, we see our other items down here. What happens if we go ahead and put this in the sprint 1? Sprint scope will be affected by this action. Demo 11 will be removed from backlog, from sprint backlog to sprint 1. Confirm. It's kind of helpful, like you're changing scope.
Yeah, it lets you that, and then you should be able to see that in the burn chart.
And I guess within this issue view, if we want to open this up in I think I broke like being able to do something. I can't change the, I can't open the modal again, it looks like. From the back, or I guess maybe you couldn't do that from the backlog. Maybe that's only from the board. Never mind. Yeah, it is only from the board.
That's interesting. So when you put an attachment on there, it creates a preview on there. I wonder what happens if you add another image.
Sure. This is, I guess, is what this
can only have one
hide on card thing is. Can I get one from Jiffy? Oh. Will you be my Valentine?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So will they both show if you don't have a hide on it? Does it turn into like a gallery view?
I doubt it. It's probably like how Trello works. I clicked, I guess, to hide this. It won't show GIFs on, or GIFs on. That's sad. I want a GIF on my card front. Oh, that'd be cool. Well, let's add maybe one that's not a GIF. This is from a it looks like you can only have one at a time.
Okay. That's good.
So we just switched that to be a different one. Overlaid. So there's that. And we still don't have, like, you can't filter by epics, or I guess you can group by epics now.
Well, and then that drop down under epic, right by the assignees to the left.
Oh, yeah.
There. Yeah, you can actually. So if you have an item, if an epic has any task or story on the board, it shows up, or is that just a full list of all your epics?
It's a full list of all of your epics.
Ooh, okay.
So the only one that has any issues, that's interesting. Yeah, these don't have any issues in the sprint, but it's still showing up in the drop down.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this is a swim lane. This is nice. It's good validation for where I want to go with issue boards.
Mm-hmm.
Should we can quickly hide all the cover images. I guess that's like hiding labels. Get noisy. Should we complete the sprint and see what happens next?
Yeah. Should generate the report, right? Oh, a gold medal.
So I've completed demo sprint 1. I can move open issues to a new sprint, complete. Which then it looks like that moves everything into here, which is kind of nice.
Or where do you view completed sprint info?
I think up higher level. Before I do that, I was going to look at where do you see your subtasks? Like in here, this is why I don't like subtasks, because this is a bug. You can see it here, so I can see it on this issue, but it's not like searchable or anything, which I wouldn't necessarily expect it to be, but it has the same exact interface as an issue. That's why I like just like tasks is a thing, not like sub issues. But
well, yeah, especially because you have like demo 11, which is just that's an issue type in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like this
I
one
do too.
markdown though. That's
Yeah.
nice. Let's see here. Let's see if we can go find out where we look at things real quick. What's pages? Here are some templates to get you started on this masterpiece. Create your first. We need a decision. Nope, can't do that without Confluence. But it looks like their main templates are decisions, meeting notes, product requirements, and retrospectives, plus 7 more, which I can't look at unless I.
Yeah, I think they're all Confluence. Yeah.
Okay. Confluence is a pretty big deal. Like lots of people use that standalone, even if they don't use Jira, which I think is pretty crazy. Add a bit bucket or GitLab repository, short information about branches. Let's do that. Repository link. Let me go grab one from GitLab right quick. I'll pull up my personal project workspace.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's going to let you. It specifically says GitHub or Bitbucket.
Well, you know what?
No, I was wrong.
It might not still. We'll see.
No,
You have added the shortcut. Okay, so this just will pop me open to my repo. Quick add for navigation, I guess, to make it feel more nicer. Project settings. You can look at this. I don't see anything here for what is a feature. Oh, you can toggle on. It looks like your roadmap, your backlog, your sprints, reports, estimation, pages, release versioning. Man, they're pushing the upsell hard because you can't actually use pages, which is interesting. Release and versioning is off. Let's turn that on. We didn't look at that yet. And we turn on reports.
There's your report, which is where I think we'll be able to see the sprint report. Yep.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
We'll look at the sprint report first. Overview, a burn-up report. Oh, okay. So we have our, looks like a timeline of things, scope. So you can kind of see, this is what I think a lot of folks, when they say, I want to see the history of my milestone or like the story of it, I think this is in large part probably the experience that they're referring to, because they were used to looking at things in this way where they can kind of look through like how scope changed throughout.
Right.
It's not bad. I mean, it makes sense. It's a little noisy, but.
Well, I guess, yeah, my question's always been like, how do you combine this information with your burn down information into a single view? I don't know what that would look like, but that's kind of always something when I was using Jira back in the day, and it's kind of one of the things I always wanted to see.
Yeah, I don't know. You can kind of see your scope change log, which that's kind of nice. See how things evolve. Incomplete issues, completed issues, and issues completed outside of sprint. So things that weren't associated with sprint, which would be kind of nice. I don't mind that at all. And this would be the burn down chart like we have. So they have like the burn down and they have the burn up that shows changes. And then we can look at our velocity report.
We're not going to have any there because we didn't close anything.
0. So commitment versus completed. It's a nice way, simple.
Yep.
And then your cumulative flow diagram over time.
Yep.
Which is kind of nice. So it's not just one sprint, but every time, which is kind of cool. And I guess this is the other thing, releases. So this is a big understanding for me at GitLab when I realized that when people are like, I want to see releases, they're talking about software releases, which is versions, but they want like a release report like here in Jira, and they're using milestones for releases in many respects. And so this is like why there's good overlap with I guess the release group within GitLab, because they're working on this similar type thing. But this has very little to do, I guess, with planning. You know, it's more like what was shipped within a given thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where there's the overlap of like, did we release what we planned, right?
Yeah. Can I go into my backlog and associate? How do I associate issue to a release? I'm curious about that. Activity, story point, sprint labels, description. Add a parent. So I can move this into an epic from here.
Yeah.
Okay, still doesn't help me with this. How do I add a release? Or item to a release?
Yeah, it looks like it gives you the option to create a new issue. So I'd imagine it would be something on an issue that you could edit.
Okay, so this is really just a glorified search view that they're using for their version. So I can do, like, I can search for anything based on that. I can switch to JQL.
Yep.
Which is cool. How do I, though, say this one?
It might be, is it tied to the sprint info, like the sprint data?
Maybe.
So if I go to the backlog, edit sprint, no.
So this is another, I guess, like, little thing that is a little bit different where, you know, like in GitLab.
Nope. Go back to your issue. Fixed versions above your name. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Shows up.
There we go. There we go. Cool. So version is there. We can also have it be in a sprint. I still don't know why there's.
Yeah, it seems like there should be more like connection between those two. Maybe.
Yeah, there should be. Which that's why in GitLab right now you can associate a release to a milestone.
Right.
I'm not sure. I don't think the UX is there for like doing it all within the GitLab UI, but with the API, I think you can do all of that stuff, which is kind of nice. If you look at in the context of where you look at this though, because I can click on this and then I can just hop back to my search if I want to like work on this. So I would think this would just pop it up in a modal instead of doing that, but I mean, it still provides some nice, like, I don't have to redo my search every time I go back and wait for the page to reload, which is kind of nice. Back to main menu. I guess I can also have some dashboards. I don't know what the bubble chart is. There's an error. So find the dashboard, edit the dashboard. Filter project selection, no. What? No. We'll do demo, bubble size. What is votes? Relative coloring, scale save. Correlation between days open, number of comments, and votes. Recent comments. I like this though. Like, it's showing you the upvotes, but also the frequency of it. Which I'm guessing if there's more upvotes, this would be further over into this right because it's got like, I guess that's what the fire means. But how do you upvote something? Do you know? It's like you can also customize the look and feel, title, save icon, backup manager, mail stuff. This is all outside the scope of our stage, but it's just interesting to look at.
Yeah, I'm curious what other gadgets you can add to that dashboard too.
Let's go back and check it out. Back to main menu, dashboards. Add, edit a dashboard. Add gadget. Not all gadgets have loaded. We're still trying to fetch all the available gadgets. All right, so activity stream, agile wall bar gadget assigned to me, average age chart.
So yeah, average time and status is one that I always found super helpful. Tracking like how often items were in a certain status on a board to identify bottlenecks.
Well, I added it. We'll see created versus resolved. And we can look at the Azure wallboard gadget. I think those were all added. Okay, demo board, show. So I guess this is if you want to push this up. I don't really know how do you make it big. Oh, you can set up a slideshow. That's kind of nice.
Oh yeah.
Like a wallboard, you know.
Interesting. I cannot edit this dashboard. Look at that.
It's probably because you're not an admin.
Yeah.
I am. Unfortunately, one of error in JQL. Edit dashboard.
Looks like they have a sprint health gadget too. Be interested to see what that does.
Yep. Show board name.
Issue statistics looks interesting too. There's a lot in here.
Yeah, let's add some more. Heat map for project or filter as heat map. Interesting introduction, issue statistics. Did you say you want to see that one?
No, they had a sprint health one. I thought looked interesting. There it is. Yeah, sprint health gadget.
What was the other one?
I think that was the main one.
All right, sprint health. Let's look at the demo board. All right, so time elapsed, scope change, flagged. I'm confused a little bit by this.
Wait, yeah. So let's see. So
sprint one.
So it's in the demo board, which we didn't put anything in that sprint yet, right? Or we don't have anything on that board yet.
Yeah, but it's for the demo board, and I don't know why it's showing. So like, you can only have one board per project. There's a planned project, and then there's a demo project.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the board from the demo, but it's showing. It's not scoping my. It's like that same problem. There's like bleed across the projects. Then I don't think they're supposed to be. They shouldn't be able to specify a sprint from a different board or different project.
Well, you got to remember though, the dashboard's at the top level, right? So it's the idea is that you could pull in information from any of your spaces.
Yeah, but if I'm scoping it to a given board, why should I be able to see something that is part of project A? I shouldn't be able to specify sprint from project B, because there would be nothing from project B in project A's board.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's just probably like a bug on their side. I don't.
Interesting. I'm going to start the demo 2 sprint because I think that affects that view. Yeah.
Did you start it?
Yeah. So you might want to probably need to refresh this.
Oh yeah. So now I can pick demo 2.
Okay. It's not active yet. All right. So we have one flagged. Let's see. I'm just flag a bunch of stuff. Flag.
So this is not real time, or it's like,
well, it refreshes every 15 minutes, right? That was the setting. Yeah. All right. So it looks like you've got things in the yellow because some stuff is in progress.
Seems like as part of like the migration, we're gonna figure out which of these gadgets are like force rank them in order of 1 to however many to see the best way to solve for that inside of GitLab.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I think some of these we can solve for in different ways. But like, I think, yeah.
Yeah, refresh that one more time for me. Yep. Oh wait, I was gonna let me put something in done and then refresh it now. Let's see how that changes that view. Oh, what? I don't understand. Well, I don't think we put story points on. We only put story points on one. So if I update this to have some points, now if you refresh it, it should show that work isn't completely done. There.
Oh, yeah. But you changed the scope.
Well, I added weights to issues that didn't have weights, and so yeah, it was like an infinite scope increase.
Awesome. All right. I think, we've had a pretty good overview. Yeah. I think we'll have to go look at the classic, I think, because I think that's what most folks run. Overall, it wasn't a horrible experience. I think there's some defects like everything that are worth cleaning up on their part. But specifically out of all of that, the thing that looked the most daunting from an import set standpoint for me was the custom fields and issue types. It's one thing that we don't have anywhere close to supporting, and unless we do, it seems like that will be a huge impediment for people feeling comfortable adopting this.
Yep.
I think everything else, like on the roadmap view, this stuff is in progress, or like.
Yeah, none of this stuff varies differently than the stuff I've written out or I wrote out months ago. So, yeah. No, I think they do have I think their like UX on it is nice and crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think this is the thing that is the biggest challenge to get right, especially within the context of having lots of the groups and projects. I think, I think the reason why Jira initially went to create this next gen is because they realized how complex they had let things get from a configuration standpoint in Classic. And they're trying to simplify it, but I don't know. This is what I kind of had envisioned that I would like to see happen with issues anyways, is they have a type, and then based on types, you can specify different workflows, which I don't see here. I'm sure you can do that in Classic, but the simplicity of the custom fields is like a nice thing.
Yeah.
And so like you right now we have a label bleed, but it would be hard to build a good experience. I mean, it seems like it would be hard to create a good experience from a UX standpoint. Like, because if you had all these fields, how would you build like a good user experience and like searching and that sort of thing,
Mm-hmm.
Like filtering. I guess that's why they eventually created JQL and all that.
Yeah.
See what happens if on a Keenan. Let me go back to your Keenan.
Issue type on the left.
I know I added in a couple other fields to it. I just want to go see what it looks like on the issue now.
Oh, I see.
Can I create a new issue here? Oh yeah, you also have work in progress limits, so 1 out of 5.
I think if you hit the plus on the far left, like in the blue, far left.
Oh yeah. So let's see here, label 5, label 1, labels. So I can, I guess, add as many different label fields as I want. Oh wait, no, you can't. It's like a label, but it's not. It doesn't use the label fields. Or you can't. Wait, no, wait. Do you create a new label? Oh, label 5 thing. All right, so that's there. So I have these. Where do I configure my labels? Can I? Access. They're weird. Maybe like
that.
issue type schemas.
Okay, look, there you go. So you have global schemas, and then you have project-specific schemas.
Yeah, specify the order in which the issue types are presented in the user interface. Or associate. Yeah. So available issue types. So does this do anything other than change the order?
Well, so it would allow you to dictate what types of issue types you can have in a project schema. So yeah, if you're running a team and you don't want them to create subtasks, you just wanted to add that to the list of available issue types.
Yeah.
And then when you build your board and your workflow out, you can build. You don't have to worry about what if somebody snags an issue type that we don't have a step for. Yeah.
I guess this is where you have your workflow builder.
Mm-hmm.
Open. From any status to itself, reuse transition. Oh, this is gonna be like a whole demo of itself.
Yeah, we should probably do this one as its own thing.
All right, this is just part 1. We'll get to part 2 at some point in the future, but I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna stop sharing now, and we can talk off recording about importing.
Mm-hmm.